Let me ask y'all this. What y'all want to talk about today? Anything? Can we talk about anything?
That's how you know we in trouble. She said sex.
I heard somebody say sex.
You want to? Okay.
You are
Really?
right on time. I mean, we can go there.
Wow.
Okay.
She said sex.
She kept it real.
Baby, I know they do.
Ooh. First of all, she definitely
Okay.
White Collar initiated.
Right. 'Cause we do talk about that.
Well, first off, I want to thank these beautiful ladies for joining us here. Big shout out to Brandy and Carly Harvey. Both of them have already been guests on the show in the past. So I'm very excited to be able to talk to you guys in a live form here with this incredible audience that we have.
Oh, this is going to be good. Very
Yeah.
good.
It's-
Well, you know what? I have to tell y'all, because they told me I was going to be up here by myself yesterday. That's what Tyshawn said. He was like, I said, well, who's gonna be on the show? He said, just you. I said, oh, no.
You had to call back up.
I said, no, I need a little help. You know, it's different when you gotta, you're not just asking the questions. You know, it's different when you gotta answer some questions. So I said, let me bring reinforcement up here.
Child.
There we go.
But
Ain't that big sis?
let
That's
me
big
tell-
sis, right?
I am not. Don't do that. She's older by 1 minute. She likes to claim it, okay? So most people do not know, like, oh, Brandy, Harvey, and Carl, we are twins. Yes, we're
Yeah.
identical twins.
Yeah, we're twins.
You're like, they look just alike. Yeah, a lady told me last week, I hosted in Boston, and she said, oh my God, I went to your Instagram. I said, oh, is she doing like an alter ego thing? I was like, alter ego? She was like, you have on a white jacket? Or you have on black? I said, no, that's my real sister. Like, she's a real person.
Cardi be telling people all the time, that is not a lock wig.
That's her hair.
That is her hair.
She don't take that off at night. Like, me, I have short hair. Very different. Very demure.
Listen.
Very mindful. Okay? Very different. Okay? So, yes, we are twins. We look different. We act different. I hosted a pastor's 50th birthday, and this was just a couple weeks after Brandy had gone in and done, like, the youth day. So people were like, oh, my God, I just saw you. I'm like, that wasn't me. It wasn't me. And then when I started talking, it was like, oh, no, that's not the one who gave description. No, that wasn't me. God didn't call
Y'all
me
gonna
for
see,
that.
yeah, Carly, the personalities are a little different.
Very.
So thank you for getting, ahead on the introductions, because I want y'all to further introduce yourself as
Okay.
well. Because y'all live some different lives as well.
We do.
Because you have also, y'all 1 minute apart,
Yes.
but you have also been married now.
Yes.
For how long?
I've been married for 9 years. I've been with my husband. Yeah. Been with my husband for 12 years. We've been married 9 years. It is a journey. I have not been to jail, so hallelujah. Okay. Murder was the case. Okay. I don't believe you've been married good if you haven't contemplated. Dude, killing me in sleep. Jesus. But I'm here. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's lovely. So I'm married. I'm an international event host and MC, so I host events, retreats, conferences all around the globe. I'll be leaving tomorrow because I'm going to host a conference in St. Thomas, my last event of the year. So I host. I'm a sex educator, so that's why when you said it.
We were like, she is,
Yeah.
the Wi-Fi is on,
The
girl.
Wi-Fi is on.
Listen.
I heard Brandy says she Amazon Prime. She on the street, right? Yeah, I'm on your street, baby. So I'm a certified sex educator. I've been a certified sex educator for a couple of years, and I used to incorporate that into confidence coaching for women. I used to focus on style and being an image consultant for people. I was a hairstylist and wardrobe stylist for a number of years. And so now I focus on sexual education for women. I focus on pleasure, getting the sex you really deserve.
Incredible. So we got a lot to talk about. Then.
Right.
It's about to be lit. They gonna be like, this the best one of the day. Listen,
I did not
y'all
expect
can
to
go
have a sex
shout about it
conversation
tonight.
in front of a bunch of ladies.
You
This
didn't
might be the
expect to
last
have
time
the sex
Cindy Trimble
conversation.
Harley initiated at the conference, so the people here enjoy it, y'all.
We
Enjoy
might
it.
not get invited back again
Right.
after this one.
Right. So now, Brandy, a lot of people might be familiar with you. Shout out to Vault Empowers, one of the
Vault
dopest
Empowers.
podcasts as well. Out.
I am so grateful for you guys for tuning in to watch us. I am the host of Vault Empowers Talks, where we don't just scratch the surface, we dive deep into the lives of some of the world's most influential change makers. I'm your host, Brandy Harvey. Listen!
Yeah, you got some reps of that.
Every Thursday at 10 a.m., we drop a new episode on YouTube. And I have to shout out Tyshawn and Ryan because...
To all my soldiers, we are knee-deep in spiritual warfare, and Hardly Initiated has created some additional armor for the fight. The Fight the Flesh bracelet is a stylish reminder to stay disciplined in the face of battle and temptation. So click the link in the description and get yours today. And don't forget, use code CLIPS for 10% off. Let's fight.
They have been so instrumental, so helpful on this journey. We sat in masterminds together with David Shands and all the things, and they've just become great, great allies in this space. And Tyshawn and I will talk to each other. We exchange guests, and he was the one who said Dr. Trim should be on your show. And so it's just been a great, great, journey of being, in friendship with you guys. So I'm the host of Vault Empowers. I'm the author of a book called Breakthrough, Sold Separately, Get Out of the Boat of Mediocrity and Walk on Water. I'm the author of a book. I am a TED Talk speaker. I'm the executive producer of Sisters Getting Well, which is a documentary that chronicles chronic disease in Black women. So when I talk about health, it's not just I'm pulling something out the air. It is because I really do live this life of health and wellness. And so, I'm just a health advocate wanting Black women to be well in the world.
So, now this is the thing.
Can we get, before Ryan goes, relationship status?
I am single.
Okay.
Where your daddy at? Where your daddy? The daddy, the granddaddy's son, it just depends on, I'm in the age, Listen, it's a wide variety. Listen, I like the spice of life, okay?
We're going to talk about all that tonight. Now, this is the thing, guys, because I don't think they could have paired us with anybody better because y'all known to keep it real. So that's what we're going to do.
We do.
Facts.
Now, we actually, yesterday, we walked around a bit and we started, really gauge how people's 2024 went. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the questions that I want to pose to y'all, okay, is did sex hurt or help you in 2024?
Did it?
Did it?
Oh, it helped me.
Oh, yeah, I don't,
Help.
Yeah. Help.
Now, you married, so we gon'
It helps. It helps.
But be specific, because how did sex help you? Give me more specifics and detail to that.
Well, I think this is the thing. I think in marriage, there's a reality in marriage that there's an ebb and flow in your sex life in marriage, There's an ebb and flow in the love in marriage. There are many times where you feel madly, deeply, passionately in love. And then there are times in marriage where you feel like I must have smoked crack to be with this person. There are times, right? But that's the honesty of relationship. We can't expect to have a relationship that is rainbows and blue skies every day. Like, trouble is coming. It doesn't matter who you are, right? So I believe that sex is like the solve that goes over some things. When sex is good, you're more forgiving. You're more, you have the ability to be nicer and kinder to your partner. That's real. Have you ever met someone and you be like, oh, she got an attitude. She thinks she just needs to get some. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. They just didn't make it up. You angry because you ain't got none. Yeah, I know some of you up in here.
Wait, now you're married, though. Raise your hand if you're married in here. It's too many people laughing for y'all to be married. Wow.
Well, because they recognize, Ryan, that sex changes, right? So if you've been in long-term partnership with someone, say you've been with someone since you were 20-something years old, now you're 40s and 50 years old, you spent decades with someone. And so the things that really turned you on, got you hot, that you really enjoyed that he did or you did to him, he was like, ooh, baby, that's the thing. Well, 20 years later, you're like, don't do that thing. I don't like that thing. I don't really know if I liked it then, but I really didn't have the language to tell tell you that it didn't work, but I just rolled with it, right? And so now, as women are aging, they have more confidence in their body. They're like, yeah, my body might not be as tight as it was when I was in my 20s, but you gonna get this roll. Like when this leg go up and this roll, it's goodness there. You know, goodness and mercy.
Goodness and mercy.
Goodness and mercy resides, okay? So once you recognize, you know what I'm saying, that you're not caring if you got a little pooch at this age. You know what I'm saying? Where in your 20s, you were so critical of your body. You were like, you gave yourself no grace. So you would say, oh, I'm just so fat, I'm so this, oh, he not gonna like it. Girl, you be throwing that thing back, don't care. You be like, you gonna get it, cause I'm here to get mine. You just not gonna be the only. Hope you get yours. So yeah, I think that there is a change in how we show up in our relationships, but how we show up in sex. And so I think as we evolve, and one thing I talk about is just finding the language to say what you really desire at this point in time, right? Because we have the opportunity to give our partners a chance to show up more for us. But when we don't speak our needs, we don't speak our wants, we don't speak our desires, guess what? Then those things don't get met. And so because we allow ourselves to be quiet, or we don't allow ourselves to say what we want, guess what? We allow our partner to show up as lesser in our lives. And so when we want them to show up as more for us, we have to be willing to give more, talk more, communicate more, understand more. And the things that he liked, what you did back in the day, he don't like that either, you know? Right. So you're not the only one living in misery, but you gotta talk about it, you know?
So as a man,
Yes.
You are.
I'm reflecting as you speaking. I have never been corrected on anything I've done sexually.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Don't listen.
So my question is, that's a hard conversation.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's a
she's
hard
She's so good at this. She's
conversation to have
She's so good
with
at
a
this.
man, because his sexual prowess is directly connected to his ego, his power, and his strength.
Right.
It's no separation of it.
Right.
So how receptive was he in that conversation, and what was your tact in that conversation?
Well, this is the thing, and I think that this can work with anyone, right? I think because even when you've been in long-term partnership like I have, you know, not probably maybe as long as some of the other ladies or men in here, but almost over a decade of time I spent with someone, right? And so what I've learned in having tough conversations is you have to have a compliment sandwich, right? So whenever we want to give some form of feedback, you say like, "Ooh, baby, I really like when you do X, Y, and Z. It really turns me on when you do that thing you do with your tongue, right? I love that." Right? I love that. It makes me feel so good. It turns me on. I would love if you did more of X, Y, and Z because it makes me feel connected to you more when you do this. So it's offering a compliment, right, inside of the course correction. So you have the compliment that anchors the course correction. So we're giving it to them and we're saying like, I really love this. I love what you do. Now, it's not good when you say like, don't do that, dang, you did that again? That's not the way, right? So we want to be able, because you wouldn't hear that somebody said that, you know? Because he might tell you, I don't really like your wig, right? He might. He might want to say, he might.
I've had to have that conversation.
Right, you might. And it's no shade, it's just like, but guess what? How would you want if someone said they didn't like your hair? You would be offended. You'd be like, well, I put time into this. So just like that, our egos are trapped up, are also a part of our, how we show up sexually, right? And so it matters. It matters how you say it.
And he was receptive in that way.
Well, I think if you value your partnership, anybody is going to be receptive, right? So if I really love you and my desire is to please you, and my desire is to bring you joy, and not just in this marriage, but in our sexual relationship, then guess what? I want to do the things that really turn you on and make you happy. And I think that's about getting the pleasure you really desire and deserve, but it's going to use you to communicate. So yeah, you can. They are. Men are receptive to that. And it doesn't mean just because you haven't been corrected in your experiences, it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong or you have done something right. A lot of women don't know how to say it, and especially younger women. They believe that pleasure is at the hand of men. Right? So it's only for them. You know, we grew up in purity culture. I grew up in church. I was very much churched, you know. I grew up Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, church, Sunday, Tuesday. Like, I was in church, right? You know, like, and if there was anything that needed to be done at the church, our mom was like, oh, Brandy and Carly can do it. Oh, they can ring bells. I don't ring bells.
We was ringing bells.
I was ringing bells in white gloves.
In white gloves, baby. We was
In
ringing
the
bells.
Christmas, I don't even ring bells, okay? But I grew up in church, right? So we know what comes along with growing up in church. It's very much purity culture. You save yourself to marriage, but as soon as you get married, you're supposed to turn into a sex goddess. You're supposed to be the freakiest thing he's ever seen. Well, how do you know if you've been policing yourself the whole time, saying, I can't be this, I can't do this? But the moment he puts a ring on it, the moment you say, I do, you're supposed to come in and say, yeah, bust it wide open, yeah, you gonna get it, You can't, right? Because it's the conditioning. So then how do we tell ourselves that it's okay to be sexual beings? How do we give ourselves permission to actually thrive in our sexual relationships? And so I think that's really comes down to knowing what you want, being absolutely honest about your wants, needs, and desires, but getting curious with yourself, okay? And that curiosity can open up a lot of doors. And sometimes curiosity is not actually telling your partner, it's writing it down first. It's journaling about it. It's saying, well, let me think about how I want to position this, how I want to say it. And so those are the things that when we're talking about relationships and sex and how they can change for us and how they can be fulfilling for us, you know, having those real conversations, that's going to be the game changer.
Oh, but Carly, I think you should tell, like, because when should you have these conversations? Because you always tell people, never have the conversation in the bedroom.
No. Bedroom is the worst place to have the sex conversation. If you don't like something that someone is doing, when they're in the act, that's like kind of the worst thing. So the bedroom will probably be the worst place because you want to do it in a setting where everyone is comfortable. Because guess what? When you're naked, you're most vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're most vulnerable. So anything is going to feel like an attack, right? So you're going to have the conversation, usually like maybe you're driving in a car. Maybe you're driving a car where everyone gets to look straight ahead, you know? We're right here. Hey, oh, baby, so I was thinking, oh, yeah, honey, what is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I was thinking about, I saw something I wanted to try. Try what? Oh. And then he's driving, oh, what she been looking at? You know? So, but it's a way you get to express yourself. If looking into someone's eyes is hard for you, then sitting side by side will be the way to have the conversation. Hey, I really like when you do this. It really makes me feel good. I feel so connected to you when you do this. I would love to see you do more of this because when you don't do more, it doesn't turn me on as much. I don't feel our connection and bond can be as strong. But when you do this, I feel so aroused. I feel so turned on. I feel all the things, right? So we get to then say, here's the compliment. Here's I like what you do. In the middle is what I don't like what you do. And then I still follow it up with I like this, you know?
So I'm gonna turn the car a little bit.
Okay.
Because, you know, we talking about, you know, as the married women enjoying their life, they sex life in this way. But I want to,
Well,
when you talk about, no, hold on, wait, listen. Let me finish the whole question.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Harley Initiated is a part of purity culture. Right. And we've taken part of it. And here's why. We get thousands of emails about how sex has destroyed these men and these women's lives because we have terrible discernment as it relates to who to have sex, how to have sex, when to have sex, commitment and the bond and the spiritual connection as it relates to sex. So therefore, sex hurts us and we don't get the benefits and the blessings from sex, right? So we still are at risk, to your point, of being those people who are now blind, deaf, and dumb sexually. And now when it's time to make that commitment, we now need to flip this switch. So what can we do as singles, all right, to as best as possible, Carly, protect ourselves, but still not disconnect with that part of our lives? Because I'm gonna be honest, right?
You're not trying to be celibate. That's what you're getting to.
No.
Oh,
I want to actually. I've been celibate for the last 6 to 8 months. I think it was like March. I've been celibate since March. And you gotta understand. This is important for me.
I love that for you.
This is important for me because I am truly. I'm a recovering whore. Okay. So I absolutely need celibacy. Has been a blessing.
Okay.
Because all of the cause and effect, the effects of sex in my life were distracting, taking me away from purpose, creating levels of guilt, shame. It was havoc. So sex was not productive in my life. So the thing about it is, me and my lady now, we both on this journey now together. And I might be in the kitchen, and I might, kind of put my hands in the plate. She's like, no, stop. And I'm like, what you mean? It gotta be some kind of, we gotta figure out how do we still keep this level of fun and this kind of, like, make sure the sexual, I guess, energy and attraction is high if we're on that journey, so we are not completely at a zero bank and loss when we do move into covenant.
Wow.
I was literally like, go ahead, Carly. Run the play.
I really need the answer to this, Carly, please. I really need it.
Wow. I don't know. I've never been celibate. I don't know. I don't know. I took, once I started, I was like, I'm an overachiever. Yeah. So there's that. No, but really, I mean, honestly, and if this is the journey that you're on and that you really, it's just like with anything, when something is too much or we formed an addiction of some sort, right? We have to remove ourselves from the situation. And so it's very difficult when we are, in partnership with someone who's very beautiful, they turn us on, they do all the things, but then we're still trying to, honor what we have said that we were going to give back to God as something for him to bless, right? And I think that's very difficult. It's very difficult to touch people and rub on them and then not be turned on where you don't want to, have sex. That's very difficult. So it is one of those things like, if that's the choice you're going to make, then you're going to have to remove yourself from it. And that's hard, because, I'm being honest, I don't preach abstinence. I don't. That's not my ministry. And I think for this being a church conference, I know what this is, but I still have to be true to myself, right? So I don't necessarily preach abstinence. What I do is understand that sex has a way of controlling people. That it has a way of taking over people's lives, that they don't make good decisions, that they haven't done the work within themselves to really discern who they should be in partnership with anyway. And so that takes work for you to actually dig deep and say, well, why am I actually giving myself to this person? Why do I feel the need to engage in sex with them? And I think once you start answering those questions, once you start being able to delve deeper into that type of work, then we can say, well, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. Now, when I think about not being able... Okay, look, could I ask you one question first before I answer this?
For sure.
Do you plan on being abstinent until you get married?
That's the goal.
Okay, do you... I love that. Okay, I love that.
That complete life change, though, because I'm the same.
Okay,
Yeah, exact same.
And so is marriage on the horizon for you all very quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're working towards.
Yeah, so very quickly.
No. It's
I don't know what very quickly is, but
But it's
Yes.
tough though. Like, I mean,
It
as you stated,
is.
it's very tough. And it's not the decision.
very hard.
It's not, you being in the room in an intimate situation. It's hard saying all the no's that lead up to that. It's hard not getting the phone number. It's hard not accepting the invite. It's hard not staying to the end of the party and, accepting the ride, taking somebody home. So it's all of the other things. But in my personal experience, and I have been having sex when I was 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
So this was almost 20 years being sexually active.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could never recall a point where it actually improved my life.
Most people have no idea how to plan a date that builds connection with 100 engaging dating cards, skip the small talk, and get straight to the real conversation. Let's take the dating game to the next level. Click the link in the description and use discount code CLIPS for 10% off.
Now, my heart, I would like to say my heart wasn't broken, but when I go back and look at all the times that I engaged in sex, it was really a self-esteem issue. It was truly self-worth because I felt compelled to compete. I felt compelled because this is what the boys is doing.
Yeah.
This is what's going to prove my manhood. And the thing is, because I understand what you're saying in particular, right? You've been with your man for 20 years. You've been married for 9 years.
20 years. Ryan, what is this timeline you're trying to
I thought you said you've been with your man
9
for
years.
20 years. 12 years. 12 years.
Nine
Okay,
years
12 years.
married.
Okay.
9 years.
But okay, so 9 married and 12 total.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is that it's so many people that all it takes is one time, and it can literally ruin the entire perception of
Yeah,
sex, the
for
entire
sure.
perception of relationships.
Yeah.
And it literally is, once you pop, the fun don't stop. So you don't get just women and men having sex with one person for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
You get men and women having sex with multiple people over a span of months.
Yeah.
And it's really crazy. And the thing about it is and I want y'all to really think about this because a lot of us have participated in casual sex. And our endeavors, it gets a little crazy because when you think about it, I've known particularly men and women who've been involved in casual sex with somebody for, let's say, 3 to 4 years. And they've only had sex about 8 times. 5 times. I mean, a lot of us can recall those situations where we done dated somebody, had casual sex with them for a year, but we may have only actually been sexually intimate for 20, 25 minutes. And when you take all of those soul scars and this emotional damage, it doesn't leave you emotionally available for the person that is right in your life.
For sure.
And the thing about it, I do think that it's people who can be responsible with certain aspects of their life, but most people, when it comes to lust, in my opinion, it's the number one thing that ruins your discernment. So there's no way to truly evaluate if the other person is gonna be right for long-term commitment if you don't remove lust.
Well, I love that, and thank you for sharing that. I think what I want people to understand is yes, sex in partnership is wonderful, right? But the longest sexual relationship you'll have with anyone is the one you're going to have with yourself. And so when we think about a sexual relationship with ourselves, it means honoring our body. It means taking care of our body. It means doing the things that bring our body pleasure and joy, and not looking for an outside source to pleasure our bodies. And so when I look at pleasure is not just erotic pleasure. Pleasure is I eat good foods because it nourishes my body. That's pleasure. I work out because I get to take care of the one vessel that God has given me, right? So all of these things are pleasures. I dress well because it makes me feel good, because people treat me a certain way when I'm dressed a certain way, right? I have that belief system. So all these things are pleasures in our lives. But also when we think about a sexual relationship with ourselves, we think about, how do we show up for ourselves at night? Do we look raggedy and broke down? Is our bonnet hanging off? Do we have crust in our eyes?
Raggedy pajamas.
Yeah, do our pajamas have holes in them? Like when we honor our bodies and just create pleasure for ourselves, that means I go to bed dressing well. I like satin pajamas. I like to look nice when I go to bed. Just like how I show up in the world, I don't want to look crusty for my husband. Now some days, there's just a level of crust that comes, Whether you try, you're like, why do I look like this today? But I really think it's about just taking pride in your appearance. It's also honoring the things, trying to figure you out. How do you like to be touched? Not offering it up to chance for someone else. Take the opportunity, rub your body down with oil when you're by yourself and home alone. Use your fingertips and rub the little parts of your arm that are sensitive, the backs of your legs, then guess what? When you are able to engage in a sexual relationship with a man, you're not waiting for him to do something to you. You're already involved in this experience yourself. You've already said, oh, no, baby, I know what I like. Touch me like this. Do this. Ooh, what you're doing is great. Because now it's not leaving it up to chance for someone else to give us a pleasure, but we've already been able to start to pleasure ourselves and how we look, how we act, how we show up. And maybe that's just softening your tone. I literally did a class a couple weeks ago, and one of the ladies said, well, I don't even know how to tell this man I don't like what he's doing. I just say, I don't like it. And I said,
one lady said, I just say, my stomach hurts.
I got that. I said, I've never heard. She said, oh, when I don't like it, I just say,
she said, all of a sudden my stomach hurt.
And I said, well, after you say your stomach hurt, what happened? Girl, I waited for you. I go to the bathroom, and I just say,
And she's I just sit in the bathroom.
I said, well, you have to use your words, ma'am. Like, we're too grown. We got to use our words. If you don't like something, you have to say it. You know, it's just like TSA when you go to the airport. If you see something, say something. All right? If you in the bedroom with somebody and you see something you don't like, say something. You know?
Okay, but Carly, I think it sounds good, right?
Right.
But most people don't have the language to be able to say what they really want and if something doesn't feel good. Because so often we've been suffocated as children, we've been suppressed as adults, we're suppressed in the workplace, we're suppressed in all these different areas of our life. So when we show up in our personal lives, I don't know how to give voice to the things.
Don't have the voice.
Yeah. So how do you tell somebody?
I think that's practice. You know, I tell women all the time, if it's hard for you to do something, then sit in front of a mirror. Start to do some mirror work, you know? And whether, like, I tell women, I like you be naked in front of the mirror. And they're like, oh, girl, I can't do that. I'm like, where's your body?
You want somebody else to love something you don't want to look at.
You don't want to look at. If you want someone to love you, to accept you, to validate who you are and how you're showing up and tell you beautiful, well, you got to start telling yourself that. So that means sitting at your most vulnerable, being naked in front of the mirror. So I used to tell people, you know, I like to do a little dance in front of the mirror. You know, that's just me. But I'm doing a little dance. David danced.
Girl, and he took his clothes off too while he did it. We read it. It's in there.
David
Check your Bible. It's up in there.
You know. So I like to just sit there, and maybe it's telling yourself those things that you want to hear or the things that's going to be hard for you to say to someone. You know, maybe it's writing it down and journaling. Like, I would love to say this. I would love to say that. I heard this. I read this book, and it's been so transformative for me. I love this book. It's called Unbound.
Amazing.
I told Brandy she just got it this week.
I've been in it.
I finished it. But it's really a woman's guide to get the things that she desires, that she wants, right? And so in the book it says that if you could, the thing about women and why they don't ask for things is because they've been told that they couldn't, right? They've been told that they couldn't, that if they did ask, then someone was going to be looking to get something from them. That if I did ask him for something, I was going to have to repay him with my body. If I did ask him for something, that he was going to want a sexual favor. That if I did take something for him, I was going to have to repay him in some way. I was going to owe him something. And so I never asked because I didn't want to owe, right? And so in that, one of the exercises, one of the ladies she talks about is adding up all the men in your life, right? The men, even if you haven't spoken to them in years, add up these men in your life and look at the names in your phone. Here's your father, your uncle, your cousins, whoever, all these men. And you start to just ask. They're imaginary ask. Like, if I could ask, if there were no limitations on my ask, right? If there was nothing stopping me, what would I ask? And so you might say, well, I want him to give me $1 million. And then you say, well, I might want him to fix something, or I might want him to do something, and so once you start doing all of these asks, right, then you start to narrow down the things that, how am I limiting my ask in my life? How am I making things smaller in my life? Because once you start to add up the people who you could ask for something, then you see that I got an army of Negroes behind me that if I really had to ask somebody for something, I could. But we don't ask because we're always looking that someone's gonna get something, or they're gonna think like, oh, I didn't plan properly enough, that if I needed help with the rent, then I'm not I wasn't resourceful, I wasn't this, I wasn't that. So now you start to attack yourself. But just ask. It can be imaginary at first. It can be whether it's, I want this man to come hang up the curtains, or I want him to fix the car. It can be simple, right? But we don't ask, and so we require people to show up as losers in our lives.
Please repeat that, because when she says this in the book, I literally,
I said,
whoo.
oh, well, wait a minute. We allow people to show up as losers in our lives.
Wow.
Because we don't give them the opportunity to win for us. We don't give them the opportunity to show up better because we do not put voice to the things that we truly desire. And so as women, when I talk about, yes, I talk about sexual education, but I talk about confidence, that there is a boldness that you have to walk into the world, that there is something that you have to be so courageous, so audacious to believe that anything that is on God's green earth is for me.
It's for me.
It's for me. There's nothing under the sun that is not for me, that I could have it if I desire it. And so we have to get into the position, especially as black women, to start asking, to not be silent, because we have been silenced for so long. And that's the thing that has hurt us. It's the thing that has kept us in positions that we didn't want to be in. Silence has had us in relationships we did no longer want to be in. It has we have given our bodies to Negroes we didn't want to because we could not use our voice. Activate the voice.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
I love this. So confidence. You really, that one really struck me because you connected confidence to getting all of these different things in life. And by the way, how many ladies are single, by the way, in the room? Raise your hand. Okay. Okay, some single ladies in the room. So how important is confidence as it relates to a woman being able to attract and have a man in her life?
Oh.
Everything.
I mean, I think so often we live in this culture that we think, you got to look a certain way and have a certain look to get what you want. And the pretty privilege thing. No, it comes down to the confidence thing. Mm-hmm. Because there are women who you may not think is a 10, but they walk into that room, baby, and she turning all the heads. You may not think that she that girl, but baby, she's that girl. And it comes down to how she carries herself, how she moves, how she asserts herself in the room. I have not been told I was cute my whole life, but I will be dang on for sure you would have to beat me down to tell me I wasn't. You would have to get in the ring with me to let me know I wasn't. Because it's a confidence. It's the way that I move. It's the way that I walk. It's the way that I hold my head up when I come in the room. I'm not looking down. I'm looking up because everything I got is up. Mm-hmm. My whole life is up. What I got to look down for? It's how it is, and I said this yesterday on the panel when we talk about the physical fitness, right? Sometimes the physical fitness is a part of the confidence because so many of us, we don't feel good about ourselves. And so now you are giving somebody else your lack of self-esteem drive-by every time, and you mad because she got something that you want and she got something that you don't understand how, but it's because, wait a minute, the first thing she said, well, wait a minute, this is my one billboard out to the world. Mm-hmm. This is my billboard. It's like going to a hairstylist whose hair not done. Why I'm gonna go see you? Your hair not done. Why I'm gonna go get my nails done with you? Your nails look raggedy. Where's your polish is chipped? What I'm about to go sit with you for, right? And so sometimes as women, part of the confidence is being confident in your body, is being able to wear the clothes that you really want to wear and stop talking about her because she got on something you really want. It's that part. And so the first part is the physical fitness. I don't know what happened. They said it was hot. They said, oh, there she go. You know, like, seriously, it's about the physical part, right? But then it's also about the mental part of how do I really see myself in the world? How do I really want to show up in the world? And when we talk about that voice, that comes from that mental agility. That comes from that emotional stability. For me to be able to give voice and tell you what I want and what I don't like, that means that I am so sure of who I am that I don't need you to tell me how fine I am because, baby, I already knew it. I don't need you to tell me how great I am because I trust me, I already been polishing it. You know, and I think that the first part is physical. You know, when we get our physical body together, it helps us stand a little taller when we walk into rooms. It helps us assert ourselves in our gift, right? Because some of you may have a gift that you know that you have. You have a ministry that's bubbling up inside of you. But part of the thing that's keeping you from it is the lack of confidence you have in yourself. It's the fact that you don't feel like yourself to get on the microphone, to show up and impart to somebody else. It's because you don't feel like you look your best. And so that part is very important to us, right? And so we talk about the physical fitness. We talk about the mental wellness, right? Because that plays into our confidence. How confident can I be when I walk into the room if I'm so bogged down of the thing that happened 15, 20, 30 years ago? I'm wearing it. And we think that just because we dressed it up enough and we went down to Saks and we got the bag and we went to Neiman's and we got the little outfit, baby, we thought we was, no, you wore all the things that you have been carrying around with you for the last 20 years. Some of us look like the baggage. We got the outfit, but we look like the trauma. We look like the reaction to the people who have caused us pain in our lives. And so part of that is maybe before you even think about a pleasure experience with a man, maybe you start thinking about what does that pleasure experience look like for me by myself? What does it look like for me to get my mental health together? Because maybe if I unclog, maybe if I uproot, maybe if I dig in, man, I saw some things in me, man, that 15-year-old, you know, Tasha, that 13-year-old Kim, that 18-year-old Kim, man, she had it going on. And now I'm the 48 or the 58 or the 68-year-old. I need a little bit of spark. Well, I got to go unlock some stuff. I got to go unpack some stuff. And that may require you to go sit down with somebody who don't look like you, who don't know you, who don't sound like you, to give you a little different vantage point for you to walk boldly into your life.
Wow. You know what? I want to ask you ladies this because Tarshawn and I, we both share a mutual friend out in Texas. And we have, you know, many conversations with him. He's a well-to-do guy, you know, handsome, in shape,
Is he
very
single?
successful,
and
very single. Very single.
You hyping him up. I mean, you know, sitting here getting
Listen,
curious.
a guy that's got a lot of great things going on for himself, but he is perpetual, you know, single. Honestly, I don't think he really believes that it's important for him to have a woman. And Tarshawn and I were having a conversation with it, and what Tarshawn, you know, surmised was that he doesn't think he believes that a good woman will improve his life. And it really made me think about that because I think a lot of women are in that situation. And I'm looking at you two ladies, y'all are beautiful, in shape, talented, can pay your own bills, right? And
Why
a lot
would
of
we
women.
want to, though?
Yeah,
I know.
Well, see, that's the thing. No, I get that. I get that.
Who wants to do that?
So I want to ask you this though: for the women who, for the women who do have a lot of good things going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the women who do got a lot of great things going on, do you think that those women actually believe a good man can help improve their life, right? And my second question is how does a good man improve your life?
Okay, I'm going to take it from the single perspective, and then Carly, I want you to take it from the married perspective. I think as a single woman who is out here, who has to walk boldly and do the things and pay all the things, right? Sometimes. You know, I think we do want and we do believe that there are good men out who can enhance our lives, right? But I also think that because we live in a day and time where outside of like our mothers and our grandmothers who needed a man to make sure they had a bank account, who need a man to make sure they could get a credit card, any health procedure they needed a man to co-sign on it. You know, we don't live in those times, right? And so now I think in order for, you know, the women who are the boss chicks and who got it going on and who bringing home the bacon and cooking it in the pan and all the things, I think for us to have someone enhance our lives, it means that you have to come to the table well. You have to come to the table confident in yourself and not ready to compete with me. You have to come to the table and not expect me to be your mother.
And he can't be your father
And
either.
he can't be your father. And that's the thing, right? Because sometimes as women, we are looking for this man to step in and fill a role that daddy didn't do. And how he didn't show up, now we are putting everything on him for this man to show up in a role that he was never designed to show up for. And, you know, recently I had Jay Barnett, and I know he's been on you guys, Dr. J. His interview just dropped on Thursday, and we're getting such great response because he talked about, he said, you know, he said, women, you cannot want a man to be healed because you want a husband. You can't want him to be healed because you want a husband. Because oftentimes, because they have been so damaged by their own mother wounds, father wounds, all the things that have happened in their lives, they are looking at you as the reflection of their mother. Now you showing up asking me to do something the same way she was showing up asking me to do something. You talking to me with the same tone of voice that she talks to me in. And so I think that for us, I think, yes, we want somebody to show up as an enhancement, but I'm always gonna go back to you showing up as the enhancement. You showing up as the thing, the healed version of you, so that you're not looking at him to be the father that you never had. You're not looking at him to be your brother and your uncle. You're not looking at him to repay the debt that somebody did when they hurt you, abused you, left you, abandoned you, neglected you. It's always gonna come back to you being in the eye of your own storm and you being able to say to yourself, everything that I want, I'm showing up with that. You don't have to, yeah, we want the millionaire, we want the six figure, but like all this, like, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there because you know, the single, he gotta be 6 figures and this tall and this, child. You 48 years old talking about he gotta be this tall. Girl, you still got a height requirement? Girl, Lord. People be asking me, Brandy, what did he got? Girl, I like men.
Amen. Amen. You know, this is the thing. People, you know, I've been married, and people are like, oh, well, Carly, how I get a man? I can't really tell you how to get a man. I just know how I got this one. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, baby. I don't know what to tell you. It's hard out here for a pimp, okay? But I will say this. You know, when Brandy talks about when you, like, I don't believe that me and my husband were just healed when we got together, right? I don't believe that. I believe when I met my husband, he was the catalyst, a part of me starting therapy. He was the reason why I started therapy. Now, he said to me, he said, Carly, I really want to marry you, but it's some things you need to work on. I think it's some people, you need to talk to somebody. And you know, I got defensive at first. I was like, oh, Negro, I'm the only one that need help. I don't need no help. I'm the only one. No, right? And so I got defensive, right? But when the defensiveness comes down, you see that someone really loves you because they want you to be better, right? And because he wanted me to be better and I loved him so much, I wanted to be better for him. And so I started going to therapy because it was a suggestion of my husband. This is before we even got engaged. Yeah. We had started doing counseling before we even got engaged. We started doing marriage counseling because we wanted to see, like, if we gonna do this thing, let's see if we gonna do this thing. And my husband had been married before. And so he was like, look, I already did it wrong let me do something different, try and get it right, you know? Hey, I know it didn't work. But I prepared for my husband. I prepared for him. And so when I say I prepared for him, I thought about the ways in which, and this is not just cooking and cleaning and doing those things. That's domesticated. Like, we all are supposed to be able to do those things because that's a life task, right? But
For yourself.
for yourself, right? But I believe that I prepared for him in a way of my finances were in order. I was paying my taxes, you know, and that was hard, you know. They don't tell you that as an adult. Taxes is hard. You're like, oh, you make what? Oh, Uncle Sam wants, yeah. So I prepared for him. And Brandy and I lived together. We were roommates. I had never lived with I went from living with Brandy my whole life, like we were roommates, and then I got married. So I didn't live with my husband. I moved with my husband after we got married. Like, we got married, I had to move my stuff from Atlanta to Dallas, right? And I will say I prepared my mind for him. I prepared my body for him, meaning I was just like constantly fasting. I was always on a juice cleanse, baby. Plus, I was just always trying to be extra fine. You know how you be like, let me lose a couple pounds. Now you're over 40, you're like, juice fast, you're just hungry. You ain't lost nothing. You ain't lost a pound. I'm trying to hear the voice of the Lord, but my stomach is growling. Lord, help me. Okay, so all these things I was doing, but I was just preparing to be in a role of a wife, you know? And so I could run a house, I could do the things, and I could support him, you know? The biggest thing for me is being able to pray for my husband. That's the biggest thing for me. You know, like, where he is weak, I get to show up in a spiritually strong way for him. And so that was important for me. So getting my prayer life together was important, and that was a part of preparation. But when I think about how my husband showed up, my husband was consistent and persistent. Everything he said he was going to do, he did it. If he said he was calling me at a certain time, my phone was ringing. If he said he was picking me up and flying into town, I was there. If he said he wanted to see me, he was buying me a ticket to come see him. I wasn't doing nothing. He just said, check your email. Your flight is there. Like, he worked to court me, you know, and that was the thing. I didn't have to show up as anything other than myself. And where I had dated people, you know, I am trying very hard not to cuss because I do cuss. You know, God hasn't taken that from me. In this season of my life, I won't say I'm trying either. I'm trying. I'm not an active participant in that. But, you know, even though, like, I cussed, right? Like, my husband I had dated someone and he said, oh, you would be so great if you just stopped cussing. And then that just made me cuss more. And I was like, you gonna get these cuss words, you know, because I got a rebellious spirit. But, you know, like, even I've been wearing short hair since I was 16. I've been wearing short hair. I've had the same haircut since I was 19 years old. So when someone says, like, I dated someone, he said, oh, have you ever thought about growing your hair out? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I haven't given it much thought. Thank you very much. Your suggestion can be in the comment box that I will never open. Thank you very much. But he just loved me for everything that I was and everything who I was for him, right? And so he didn't come trying to change me. He didn't come trying to rearrange me. And so I always say to people, if a Negro never changes, can you love him the way he is? And so I was prepared to love him the way he was if he never changed. Now, what I know for sure after being with someone 12 years, we're all gonna evolve, we're gonna change, we're gonna grow. The same person I was when I met him at 29 years old, well, I'm not that person at 42. And so he's had the evolution of being with me. And it's not been pretty, you know. I am not very nice some days, and I know that. I can be hell on wheels, you know. But through all of that, we've learned to love each other in our evolution. And so what I know for sure is I believe good men exist. I believe that they are there and they are real because I know I'm married to one. I know I have brothers who are good men. I have friends who are good men. I have uncles and a father. They are good men. They don't come perfect, right?
Yeah.
They don't come perfect, neither do I. But the good men are there, you know? We just have to get realistic, though.
Yeah.
And the way we show up and allowing someone to accept us and for them to accept the things that are not so great about you, but you accepting some things too. That's love. You know, that is love. Love is patient, love is kind. You know, there's a lot of other things they say love is too. In that scripture, I just try to focus on love is patient, love is kind. I try and focus on, I don't put, you know, God won't put too much on you that you can bear. You know what I'm saying? So I just like to give, you know, what can I take? You know what I'm saying? So I focus on the things that I know. Love is patient, love is kind. I might not get the other stuff, you know what I'm saying? But love is patient, love is kind. Don't remember what else they said. Love is patient, love is kind.
Carly, let me tell you. First of all, Carly's off the chain. I appreciate you actually telling us that story about your husband because everybody is so focused on being healed before getting into this relationship, being healed before getting into this relationship.
No.
And as men, we do not expect perfection from a woman. In fact, all our private conversations about women, about all the things we deal with, we know that the woman is not perfect. But one thing we really do look for, especially with his recommendation to go into therapy, is that a woman will be willing
Yes.
to change, willing to grow, because that really gives us longevity. That shows that this is somebody I can grow with, I can flow with, and we can evolve together over time. And that's something that's very, very, very important. And, you know, as we look to actually close out, this is important because obviously this is the end of year event, and we all moving into 2025. And I see you ladies as being very self-aware. So I want to ask, moving next year, and I want y'all to take it where y'all want to take it, whether it's relationally, spiritually, your friends, family, however it needs to be, what's something that y'all ladies know that you absolutely have to remove out of your lives to get to the next level going into 2025?
Something to remove. I think in this season it's doubt, it's self-doubt. I'm not sleeping on myself. I'm not sleeping on myself in this season. I'm not sleeping on myself. I told you guys yesterday on the panel, like when I turned 40, I literally was on a plane coming back from St. Martin with my mom, and I was like, I feel like my life is just getting started. There is no gift that I am leaving uncovered. There is no talent, that there is no ability that you will not see of me. Y'all gonna be like, I saw her preaching on that thing. She sure was. I saw her hosting that thing. She sure did. I saw her out there in the school. She sure was. Because there is nothing in this season that I'm doubting myself about. There is nothing in this season that I'm sleeping on myself about. I am not going to leave any stone uncovered in my life. I am not going to bury any talent. I am not going to bury any gift. When I leave out this mug, it's going to be on E. I am doing everything in my power to raise the voice that I have, to amplify it, to expand it, to have more capacity for everything that God has given me. I am not sleeping on myself. I'm not doubting nothing about me. So when you turn on that YouTube, you say, Brandy, every time my grandmother say, Brandy, every time I open up the YouTube, I see you on the YouTube. I said she doing something, they ain't took her off. I said, well, Graham, that's not how YouTube work, but baby, they ain't gonna take me off there either. Okay, everything that I'm doing in this season, I have gone through too much. I have done too much work on myself. I have spent too much time in preparation, making it my separation factor. And so in this season, I ain't doubting nothing about me. So when you see me walk in the room, just know, baby, she on. Wipe her down.
what I am not doing in 2025 is ever going after Brandy. Never. Please let me get my stuff off first, because it ain't about to be all of this, Father God.
It's gonna be amazing.
That's all right, honey. Just let me go after Brandy. With Brandy speaking, let me go before Brandy, because whenever she go, it's done. So everybody need to walk off the stage because it's finished. But that's how I feel. I just need to go before. Get mine off before, and they be like, okay, sweet. And then you, yes, hallelujah. Yeah. Just let me go before her. Just, Father, why didn't I just say, let me go first? Let
me tell y'all. Let me tell y'all, we really like each other in real life.
We can tell. We can tell.
In real life.
Y'all real sisters.
We like each other in real life, okay?
This ain't no,
it ain't for TV.
I set fire to the rain about this one. Like, when people don't understand, like, when y'all be in them comments, and she be having to pull me back, because I cuss, okay? And I be wanting to cuss y'all out.
Let me tell you, it's funny because I had a question queued up that I was gonna ask, and I did not even ask because I see how y'all move.
Yeah.
Because I could tell it's real love.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm gonna tell you what I was going to ask.
What?
Because there was a young lady I actually dated in high school.
Okay.
She recently called me, and we had a conversation. Nothing crazy, y'all.
Okay, I'm like.
She's catching me up in her life.
Okay.
Actually, her mom was checking, she wanted her mom to check on me, whatever the case is. But long story short, she's about to get married.
Okay.
She's got a sister about 2 years apart. They close sisters. She love her sister.
Okay.
But her sister is upset. She didn't say it, but she could tell the vibes is off about this marriage.
Oh.
That's coming out.
That was not.
Because she having trouble in her life. Now,
no.
Listen, a lot of families, I know y'all saying this, oh no, but this is common inside relationships for the sisters to be a little off and beefing.
Yeah.
For these different things to be happening inside the family, even our friends. A lot of our friends, sometimes you can only really relate in the struggle.
Yeah.
Come and start telling the wins, it get a little funny in friendships. Yeah. So that's something that I see already that y'all just never had a struggle with.
Oh, no, we don't play that. Like, first of all, I want her to get a husband. And I want, first of all, I want to be a maid of honor. I've never been a maid of honor. Like, let me have that. Like, give that to me. Give that to me. Give me a dress. Give me a dress. But I really do. I'm like, please, like, me and Bea need a travel couple. You know what I'm saying? And I want to travel with my sister.
Yeah.
And she don't travel with us because she's like, I'm not no third wheel, baby. And I'm like, because me and my husband, okay. But no, I celebrate my sister. I love when she is winning. I love, and this is the thing, I love Vault because you know what I call Brandy? I'm like, who is that? You on there interviewing? I ain't never heard of them. Brandy introduced me to people I ain't never heard of. I'm like, well, who is that? And give me somebody else to look at. What I love about our relationship is that I get to celebrate her because when she wins, I feel like I win. I really do. Like, when my sister is soaring, I tell her, I go out and people be like, oh, are you Steve Harvey's daughter? And I'm like, I'm Steve Harvey's daughter. I said, Lord, blowing up. I said, I was in the store. Lady said, are you the girl from Vault and Power? I said, girl, now I'm Brandy Harvey's sister. I said, not me going out, Brandy Harvey's sister. Girl, wait a minute. But this is just, we have always been very close. We talk all day on the phone. She literally popped at my door. I see the camera. She like, I let her in. She like, all right, I see you down there. That was at 11 o'clock this morning. I said, first of all, you can go get dressed. Like, I'm up here trying to find something to wear. What are you doing? But it's just a genuine love. I believe in sister relationships. My sister is my biggest cheerleader besides my mama. child, because my mama gonna ride for you, baby. She just does. My husband, I just have a great support system. And I value my sister relationships because I don't believe that my husband can be my everything. I believe that there are relationships that benefit me that are good outside of my husband. Like, I have a very best friend. I had a built-in best friend when I came into the world. And so I love that, you know? And guess what? I have a husband who honors the fact that I have a very close relationship with my sister, you know? And so when I look at that, I look at all the things that Brandy is able to do, but guess what? I get to be there riding with her. You know, I came down here because of her. You know, I was not coming down on a Saturday. I was supposed to be in a gym watching my son's team play basketball. So I honor the fact that she is who she is. And then I get to show up as me, not in a competitive way, but in a loving, supportive way. So I echo everything that Brandy says about how she is going into 2025. I spoke at a conference. I was hosting a conference a couple weeks ago, and it said, I will not bury my gift. And so when Brandy said, I said, Lord, we on the same page, honey, because I just won't. You're going to see me doing the things. People say, I didn't know you were a sex educator. Yes, I am. I do that too. And I will host. And I will do this. And I own insurance agencies. You need some life insurance. You need some home and auto. I do that too. I'm certified in whatever I do. Everything I do, I plan to win at. And so there is no lane on the freeway that is not mine. I do not believe in staying in your lane. I multiply all the lanes. One day I'm fast, one day I'm slow. Catch me in when you can. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say this real quick? Because I feel like this is going to help somebody.
Can I say something?
This is what I said in my toast to Carly at her wedding. And I give this to every couple when I go to these little events.
I stole it. So I
She
told
stole
my
it a few
homegirl
weeks ago.
I did. She came in late and I said, I already did your speech. I did.
I stole your line.
I sold your line.
But here's what I told my sister at the wedding. I will be a friend to your marriage. I will be a friend to your marriage. And in these 9 years, I show up as a friend to her marriage. I'm her sister, I'm her twin. Yeah, we got a root in our lives that can't nobody impede on, can't nobody walk in and separate, right? But I also know that when she got married, that there's the separation factor. That there is something about her life that's very different from mine. There's an obligation that she has that's very different from mine. There's a love that she has for her husband that is very different from mine. And what I have said and what I will continue to champion is that I will be a friend to her marriage. And so she can't call me and talk crap about being, and I don't be like, girl, I know you.
She like, I know you.
I know you.
And I know you did.
I know that mouth, baby, got the best of you today. So
I just be my sister and listen.
Don't take his side. Listen, but I show up as a friend to the marriage, and I think that when you walk into your relationships, whether they're with your sister, your best friend, your cousin, whoever it is, decide in your mind that you're going to be a friend to their relationship. Yeah. So it removes all the extra, the added stuff that comes along with it when you just say, I'm just going to be a friend to it, a friend to your marriage. I support it. I love it. I hold it up when you need me to hold it up. I save space for it when you need me to have space for it. I'm a friend to her marriage. And then I'm her friend. That's my dog. That's my girl.
Round of applause for these beautiful ladies up here,
Thank y'all
everybody.
so much.
Thank you so much for calling in reinforcements last minute.
Wasn't she so good?
Because this was an incredible tandem. One more time for these incredible ladies here.
Listen.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, man.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
I love y'all. Thank you, Tyshawn. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful.